Hi friends, my name is Bobby Phillips and today I am based at Kalamassery. It's in Kochi, and today I have Mr. Johnson Paulose, K. Paulose, and the topic today is something different than what you would be expecting. So I will let this be a free-flowing conversation, and then we will have a quick recap on what we talked about, and let's begin on the conversation. All right. So let me first introduce Mr. Johnson. He is based in Kalamassery, and that is the midst of the city. Okay, I came in today to have a quick conversation with him regarding the projects that he is currently doing. And when he spoke to me about 5-10 minutes ago, I felt like that's just the surface, and just at the surface level, the amount of ideas and the passion with which Mr. Johnson is pursuing forward is amazing. So I want all those things to be recorded today and brought out to the world. I have a global audience here as well, in India as well as in the globe. So that is where we will have a good discussion, a good balanced discussion about where we are leading to, and let's take it forward. Yeah, Mr. Johnson, can you introduce yourself for my global audience?
First and foremost, let me thank Bobby for the nice bit of introduction which he has given me. That's been very kind of you to make the kind of introductions. I'm humbled by that. I belong to a village called Palikera. That's where my hometown is. I would rather, the history of our church is almost 1,000 years. So we are proud of such a place. And to connect you to that place, this is very near the Wanderla, which many of you would have visited, very near that. That is my hometown. My parents are from there. So naturally we are farmers, primarily we are farmers. And I remember my childhood where we had the cycle of farming which used to go places. In fact, we grew in the city, but then we always were connected to the village. So we remember our childhood days when every year when the harvest is there and the rice is harvested, it's a celebration where people enjoy those days. I remember very well. So after the harvest, the hay is brought here, the cow dung is taken back to the paddy field. Those were the days, those were the good old days. But then all that is memory now. And my parents have always had a passion. They always had some bit of good animals in our home. So basically, I think where they would have drawn inspiration is from Bible itself. Where in the Proverbs chapter 27, what it says is the dairy animals are one which you should take care. You should take daily care of them, and that will take you places. That will make you think of the future. So probably that is the mindset. And I also understood that all the religious books have a place for good animals and good dairy cattle in those books, and they go with the human beings as such. So that's it. Basically, I belong to a village called Palikera. My parents are from there. My mother was a doctor. Now my children are also practicing doctors. My wife was working for Canada Bank. She's a professional investment banker, but she's taken the voluntary retirement. My business was for computers for nearly 30 years. And towards the fag end of it, somewhere when my old parents, I had to spend my time with my old parents, I decided to come back to Kerala. I was with them, and somehow I got hooked up with this little dairy cattle.
All right. On that note, I wanted to mention that my first job ever in 1991, in the early 1990s, was with Mr. Johnson. I used to be a customer support engineer at that time, and my first journey in the IT industry was from the Hikai Computers, which was known and very well known in Bombay. And thank you very much. So going forward, today I came to know, not today, I knew about this project that Mr. Johnson was handling. It is like he lives in a city. Okay, the interest that came into my mind was when I saw that in midst of the city, he brought a part of his his culture, his the traditional values, and started working with the cattle as well as the farming industry. So that is what started my interest. Okay, and going forward, I will let Mr. Johnson explain to us how does he have a cattle shed right in between the city, and how does he manage the entire ecosystem associated with it.
Thank you, Bobby. Now, see, somewhere I said, but towards the end of 2017, somehow I got hooked up with dairy cattle. I got connected with them. They became very passionate to me because I was diversing from my computer industry to areas of dairy. So I represented a company which was very well known in Rajasthan. The name of that company is Rajasthan Electronic Instrumentation Limited. They had this testing equipment for all the milk societies to check the quality of the milk. I also involved with another area is to reverse engineer, or rather to make people use milking machine, a project right from Kasaragod to Trivandrum, and somewhere in between my dairy cattle were also growing. So it reached a stage where I stopped all other activities and started concentrating on my dairy cattle. So initially it was more of a hobby, but then eventually it has become a passion for me. Now I would want to say dairy cattle are a university for itself. There's a lot of learning from them, there's a lot of inputs from them, which is a day-to-day lesson for each one of you. Yes, I'm right in the heart of the city, a very small place. Like the metro has brought in a new culture altogether in the Cochin city, and some of it to the small households also. So the little place what we have organized it in a very modular way. You can always divide the whole system into multiple compartments where each things have their place, and each place has a thing. So for a dairy cattle, the space what it actually needs is around 6 foot and 4 foot wide, 6 foot long and 4 foot wide. So when I say I have around 30 cattle in around say 1.5 cents of land, how I manage it is because see, I have around 8 cattle which are big cows, I have now more concentrating on the local Deshi cows as you call it. You have the Sahiwal which has its roots in Pakistan. We have the Gir cows which is more as its origin in Gujarat. We have the Jerseys which is, of course you know, it is hybrid cows. We have the Holstein Friesians and the others. So the big cattle gives me big milk. But then these big milk are also called A1 category of milk. But among the big cattle also, Deshi cows like Sahiwal and Gir give the A2 variety of milk. The A2 variety of milk is the trend of the world right now. The world is switching over to A2 variety of milk. Why A2 variety of milk is because A2 milk are more human, supporting the human immune system. The saying goes that when you're sick, either you avoid milk, and if you're having milk, you have A2 milk. So I have these big cows there, and the small cows which is very exotic, which is almost getting extinct in the world. Among them are the famous Vechur cows of Kerala, which has its roots in a village called Vechur in Kochi district. And all the local cows, the Deshi cows of Kerala, are dwarfs. They are small size, different from other parts of the country. Whereas the other parts of the country, you have cows which are large size and who are bigger quantity of milk. And rather, the kind of small cattle what I have here is the Vechur cows, the Kasaragod dwarf, the Puganur dwarf. I have also, breeding is one area of my interest. Worldwide, some of the best quantity of milk is obtained from a variety of cattle called Girander, which is a crossbreed between the Holstein Fries and the Girs. So they generate the maximum amount of milk. I have one cow which is of such variety.
What's the quality difference between the A1, A2 and the milk that is generated from the dwarf cows?